Fresh fruits and vegetables are grown in soil, and so there is a risk of contamination from bacteria and viruses. This video will help farmers identify and reduce those risks during the harvest process. One potential risk is wild or domestic animals in the produce fields. Wild and domestic animals are a food safety concern because they can carry human pathogens like Salmonella and E. coli in their feces, which can make people sick. Do your best to keep them out with fences, traps, and other tactics that use noise or random movement, like decoys or flashy tape. Despite these efforts, animals still get in. It is very important to not harvest anything that has visible contamination from animals. The following sequences are suggested harvest protocols for what to do if and when you encounter fecal contamination in the fields. Let's head to the field and watch as Dia starts her harvest. First, all employees need to wash their hands well before they begin to harvest. Hand washing is perhaps the most important thing you can do to keep germs off your produce. Provide hand washing near the fields, like at a portable station or field unit. This makes it easy to do throughout the day. Dia gets a clean tote from the stack before heading to the field. While she is harvesting kale, she looks for signs of animals, such as feces, hair, paw prints, or nibbled or trampled produce. While she is harvesting onions, she sees a large amount of animal droppings on the ground. This could have come from deer or rabbits. She doesn't want to stop harvesting yet and doesn't want to spread the contamination around the field, so she grabs a flag from her harvest wagon and flags the area with the contamination. This tells her and any other workers that there is contamination there and to use caution. She continues to harvest her onions for the market. When she has finished that task, she fetches a shovel and bucket that are designated for contamination and shovels up the droppings. She then throws them away, cleans and sanitizes the tools, and washes her hands. This protocol serves to remove the contamination from the field, where it might otherwise spread to other plants through wind and rain. Sometimes you might encounter a smaller amount of contamination. It is still important to not harvest this produce. You cannot ensure that all of the droppings will be removed during washing, so don't harvest it at all. Here Dia is harvesting kale and sees bird droppings on a kale leaf. She is moving fast, but she and her employees have all been trained to look for droppings on the leaves. When she spots this, she does not harvest the contaminated plant, but puts a small flag up and then keeps moving to harvest the next plant. The flag reminds her to go back and remove the contaminated leaves, and it alerts the other workers to not harvest this plant. When she is done with the harvest, she goes back and removes the contaminated leaf along with surrounding leaves and puts them into a designated bucket for the trash. She then washes her hands. Here are a few more things you can do to keep your harvest safe. Remember, don't pack into dirty containers. Develop a cleaning and sanitizing schedule for your containers so that they stay clean. Dirty containers can spread germs that can make your customers sick. They can also scratch or damage produce. Here Dia is washing her tote. She washes it with potable water, scrubs it with detergent, rinses it, and then sprays with a sanitizing spray. She then lets it air dry and stacks it with the other totes, where it will be ready for her next harvest. You don't need to sanitize the tote each time you use it, but it is important to do it occasionally throughout the growing season so that dirt and filth does not build up. You will also note that Dia is not putting the harvest tote directly on the ground. Sometimes it is okay to set the tote on the ground depending on the type of tote and what you are harvesting, but she does her best to put it on an overturned tote so that she is not bringing extra dirt and mud into the packing area. Finally, it is a very good idea to keep some sort of records for when and where you spot many signs of animals in your fields. These records will allow you to identify hot spots in your fields where animals might be getting in and the time of year. You can take management steps based on this information. As a review, here are some of the key concepts for a safe harvest. Remember, the goal is not to eliminate animals from your field, but to reduce the risk that they will contaminate your produce. Use these basic steps to make sure your produce is as safe as possible for your customers.